Actually, private property also declined and stagnated.
Yes.
Due to all the different cooling measures.
So a new HDB flat in Bedok sold for $730,000.
Because I tend to ask them, is it necessary to move? Welcome back, guys, to More Than Money, the podcast where we talk about property, money, and mindset. I am Jeffrey, your co-host for today. I'm a KW consultant here in Singapore.
And same like Jeff, I'm also a KW consultant, Elfie here, by the way.
We have a mini series, a new one to showcase to you guys. It's called Property by Design. So we're going to share a bit on how we approach our consultations. Okay, so for today's episode, we're going to kickstart this series with Mr. Elfie Abdullah and your current case study that you're going to share.
Okay, so for these current case studies, they are not actual case studies. Most of the time, names have been changed, all right? Face, situations, condo selection, things like that, right? So we just want to keep it private and confidential.
This may or may not be relevant or related to our past,
Transactions.
current, and future clients.
But like Jeffrey said, it's about giving you guys a glimpse into how we design asset progression, which is not what we're using. We're doing this thing called property by design. Later, you'll see what I mean. Okay. So today, we're going to talk about this profile. Daniel and Maria, their names. He's 42 and Maria is 39. Typically, most of our HDB to condo clients are between 35 to 42. This age. Same for the ladies as well. And Daniel is earning $8,500. Maria, $11,000. What do you think of their incomes so far?
I think this is gonna be increasingly common when the lady not only is younger but also earning higher. But in terms of combined income, definitely on the
30%.
the higher range,
Yes.
mid to higher range. Okay, of course they have a lot of potential
Right.
but it depends on how much loans they have currently.
Oh yes, 100%. So they have two teens, 14 and 16, as you can see in the image. These are not real people. This is AI generated. So investment appetite is low risk. I mean, everybody says they are low risk. I've not seen someone who said, "Oh, I'm aggressive." Not really. Not really. I mean, especially if you got two kids, you got a car loan, you got things like that, you tend to be low risk. And currently, they are living in an EA apartment in Pasir Ris.
Okay.
And their initial plan when they call us, right, is to buy a spacious 3-bedder condo for asset progression, right?
Okay.
And we're going to talk about their strategy and their options in a bit. So far, any questions on this? Do you have anything?
Typically, families who live in an EA, they are very acclimatized with the size. So maybe this spacious 3-bedder is of a same size.
Most
but
likely.
maybe utility-wise only 3 bedrooms.
Correct.
Potentially, they would want to have a 4-bedder to have a same size equivalent.
You're right.
But I think they are just not sure whether they can afford it.
You're right.
That is what most clients say. We are not sure whether we can afford. Yeah.
So one thing about condo sizes is like if you buy a HDB flat, most of the time, the size is the internal space, the livable space.
Okay.
Right? But for condos, you know that especially the older condos, because it's not harmonized, they tend to have big aircon ledge.
Okay.
They have balconies that are too big, planter box,
Bay windows.
bay windows, all these things, okay?
Because that is spacious.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, as much as possible, we'll try to find something around the 1,200 square feet mark. Because anything below 950 square feet, the balcony itself takes like how many square meters?
That's true.
It's going to take out a lot of space, even for harmonized projects. But we'll take a look at some of the options in a bit.
Okay.
Okay, but Jeff is right. Usually people want a bigger space condo. At least.
Same.
Correct.
At least the same.
Yeah, because if not, there's no feel. I would
There
say.
is that friction, I would say. Like they will typically go like, I'm already used to this. My family is expanding. I'm not sure whether it's possible for us to get used to a smaller size condo. So minimally must match.
In fact, you got clients who are from executive HDB flats going to jumbo. They want even bigger.
Yes.
Is it to rent out one of the rooms?
When they first met me, it was why not lah. It was just a why not. But of course, after explaining, we pivoted into a 4-bedder condo instead. So similar size, but different asset type altogether.
So what is this black magic that Jeffrey is doing that people, from wanting to buy a jumbo, they instead buy a 4-bedder condo, paying more for lesser space, we'll see. All right? It's in the numbers, okay? It's in the numbers and the planning. Okay, so let's talk about their current foundations, current situation. Again, they bought an EA at Block 539 Pasir Ris in 2011 for $670,000. So that is a 14-year ownership. As much as possible, this case study is fictitious. but it is related to some of our cases also lah.
Yep.
But this guy is not living in 539 Pasir Ris. Okay, so there's 14 years of property ownership. Current valuation is between 930 to 950k.
Okay.
So that means they are sitting on a profit gain or paper gain of $280,000. Okay, and the initial meet, and it's common, people want to give, people especially once they hit their 40s, ladies 39, guys 40s, now they are thinking about retirement much more. They are more active. They are like in their autumn season before the winter. Winter is like retirement, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So they are thinking about retirement. Retirement is too distant.
It's too far out there. They cannot envision. So they plan primarily for the now.
So they want to give their children a boost in life for the future. So like legacy planning, they understand that, in the future, BTOs are going to be like $1 million, most likely. Inflation. The wedding is going to be like 100k minimum. The kids still need, their money, in the future they just want to give a boost to their kids.
So for example, the kids who are in their teens, what is like the next financial milestone for them as a parent? What do you think? Is it uni?
Yes, it's uni. 100% is uni.
Okay.
Yeah. And uni, depending on which uni you want to go to and all that, it can range 120k to up to maybe 300, 400k. Easy, right?
So they want that option. And based on their current circumstance, they might not have that liquid 120 to 300k.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So now they feel like they've been overly conservative for the past 14 years. All right. Okay. And they want to make up for lost time.
Okay.
And this is, again, case studies and cases which I've dealt with where people in their 40s always feel like this. And they want to make up for lost time by becoming aggressive.
Crypto.
Yeah, so this is their current situation.
Okay.
All right. Talking about 14 years of ownership, that means they bought this HDB in 2011.
Okay.
Can you imagine how many private property cycles were there?
Especially when back then SSD was 3 years.
Yes. Plus, this was just 3 years after Lehman crisis. Property prices were going up. In fact, after 2008, I think the world learned a good lesson about not crashing the market after that. And property prices have been going up. It's just been so stable, except for HDB in 2013. Right? But beyond that...
Actually, private property also declined and stagnated.
Yes.
Due to all the different cooling measures. TDSR was the main hammer, the biggest hammer. Yeah.
So if you look at the chart that I have on top here, as you can see, this was the global financial crisis period, 2008, and then up to 2010, prices were down. And after that, it just became stable. So imagine if they bought something in 2011. I mean, number one is you cannot time the market for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, but having said that, there were a few property cycles they could have participated in.
I guess essentially what would their portfolio or what could their portfolio have been if they were vested
on
in
hindsight,
private property for 14 years. Not saying flip
Correct.
every 3-4 years, but what if they moved 14 years ago?
Okay, so let's take a look at their concerns. Their chief concerns is just now, as I've said, legacy planning, making up for lost time, and also retirement. Because again, people in their 40s, they are thinking about, in the next 20 years, I'm going to have this active income. What do we do with this active income? For most people, they'll just be spending it away. They pay their HDB using CPF.
Yep.
And then suddenly this cash is disposable income that you can use for anything. And then now in their 40s, they realize that, how to retire like this? In the next 20 years, I have to do something.
They check their SA, then they count, and the FA say, must invest.
Correct. So they invest in ILP. Okay. But anyway, so 20 years of active income, and their combined income is $19,500. Which brings them to the top 30% of income earners in Singapore.
Okay.
Again, net equity in HDB flat. Okay, so this is just the calculation. If they sell their HDB for $950,000, they don't have an outstanding loan.
So what is equity?
Equity is the build-up of funds in their current property. That means equity, there's CPF and there's cash. But so far, there's no cash. It's just the cash proceeds. That's profits.
Cash.
Yeah, cash. So it's part of the equity.
Essentially, just whatever price, less of whatever outstanding loan. That is your funds available as equity.
For your cases, do they have outstanding loans or do they still have loans for the younger, the 35, 36?
98% will have loans.
Okay.
Between 80 to 250.
I
so
see.
if a 5-room BTO will have about 200-ish outstanding loan.
I understand.
Yeah. But what is more important is the equity.
Right.
It's not the loan,
I understand.
it's the equity.
Okay.
So less of the outstanding loan, they have about 600 odd thousand in
see.
cash and CPF.
I see. Okay. So for them, there's no outstanding loan. It's all fully paid up. I think they fully paid up their property for a long, long time. Okay. Because Daniel's CPF refund is 300 over 1,000 plus and Maria is 300 over 1,000 plus. So that means, you remember they bought their property at 670. They probably fully paid it in CPF. So what you see is also this thing called accrued interest, which is the CPF funds.
Oh, you separated the accrued interest?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I didn't put in accrued interest here.
So estimated about 100k accrued interest each?
Over the past 14 years.
Okay.
Because accrued interest, it's compounded against you. So if you put in a big amount, of course, you'll be punished.
How do you explain accrued interest to a 5-year-old? Not 5 lah, let's say 12 lah.
A 12-year-old. Okay, so let's talk about, I can't think of anything.
Okay, I'll try my best. Let's say you have $100 in your jar. If you leave it there, the government will give you $2 every year. Actually, it's $2.50, but let's just put $2 easier. So if you withdraw this money from your jar and put it into your house, you now owe yourself $2 every year, but this is compounded. So first year, $2. The second year will be 2% of the $102. So essentially for this Daniel and Maria, they are supposed to get 100,000 each from the government if they did not buy any property or if they did not use any CPF funds for their property. But because they use it, they now owe $100,000 each into their own account. So they will be paying it via their cash proceeds.
That's a very good way to approach it.
Example. Yeah. I mean, it's not as simple as I thought it would be. Yeah.
Again, if they were selling... Okay, so right now, HDB prices, all-time high, albeit it's slowing down. So they are able to sell with profits. Can you see like $224,000?
That's true.
Back in the day, maybe in 2013,
18, 19.
Yeah, even 18, 19.
That's
sorry.
the worst.
18, 2017, 18, 19. Yeah. I don't think they could sell even for $1.
What's the biggest negative you've seen?
300,000 plus.
Same. 250, 300.
300,000 plus. That means if you sell your HDB flat, not only your CPF will be gone, like 300,000 just gone off the face of the earth. Technically, CPF will ask you to pay.
Technically, because you owe.
So they will ask for you to, okay, please pay back your future self for the lost amount. But of course, when you write in, they will waive off. But it's very painful to lose CPF.
But some people that I meet, they didn't feel the pinch.
Are you sure?
Because they think, CPF.
Oh,
I
see.
didn't feel it in the first place.
Wow.
So if I lose 200k, so what? They don't realize.
I see.
So just to put it in context, for this Daniel Maria, in order for them to lose the same amount of CPF, that means their flat price would be, let's say, 700. So for example, now the home value is 700k.
Yeah.
Less of the
700?
700,000. Then you will get a negative 26,000.
Wow. Can you see? Yeah.
So this is what we mean by the 26,000 of CPF that by right belongs to you is now vanished into thin air.
Oh, wow.
And like you mentioned just now, you are supposed to pay back to CPF because fundamentally CPF is for retirement. Then way back, government allowed us to use CPF to pay for a house. That means you still owe this 2.5 forever. Yeah. So that's why I say in some of my videos is that the CPF accrued interest is not your enemy. Your enemy is the home value. Because if you owe 200k worth of accrued interest in this case, but now your home value is 950, you are still at the positive, you see?
Correct.
Yeah. It's only bad or worse if your home value is 700 odd thousand.
Yes.
Which was what happened post 2013. That's why the folks who bought in 2013 and sold it in 18 and 19, 5 years MOP, they are looking at 250, 300k negative.
So I mean, again, my advice is if you are sitting on a profit for your current HDB flat, that means you really dodge a bullet, especially if your holding was more than 10 years.
Or you bought a resale.
Or you bought a resale flat, a resale HDB flat. It's time to review your portfolio. Okay? So anyway, this is the breakdown. This is the calculation. Okay, so let's talk about capital breakdown. So how much do they have? Okay, after the sale of their HDB flat. Okay, number one is their max loan for this couple, Daniel 42 and Maria, is 2.01 million, around 2 million.
2 mil, okay.
2 mil. CPF OA available is 790k.
800.
Let's say put 800. 202,000 cash.
200.
This is their
Savings.
sales proceeds actually.
Oh, okay. Proceeds.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jimmy, you made a mistake. And $100,000 is their savings.
Savings. Got it.
Typically at this age, if you're earning that kind of income, usually you'll have this amount of savings in the bank, right? Very liquid. So total is close to $3 million, which is around 95% of the total budget because I have to take into account stamp duty, buyer stamp duty, fees and costs. All right. So let's see. Yeah. So this is their budget.
Question. So the $2 million loan, is it based on the 55% total debt servicing ratio?
You are right. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is post-sales available funds. CPF balance, Daniel is 380, Maria is 411, combined 791. So cash balances, savings and cash proceeds is 302K after paying agency fees, etc. Loan eligibility, Daniel can take a loan of up to 23 years.
Based on his age?
And Maria up to 26 years. Okay, because for a private property, you can take up to 30 years loan. And this is, if they are doing it combined, if they're buying a property under one name, they can do it at 25 years max because of the average age. So that it's called a income weighted average age. Okay, maximum installment allowable is 55%. As you can see from the calculation above, 4,600 and 6,000. Max loan 800K and 1.172. So this is their max loan combined.
Do they have any outstanding loan? Oh.
No, so no car, taking motorbike lah basically.
Fully paid motorbike?
Fully paid.
Wow.
Fully paid. Yeah.
Okay. Not usually the case for my clients.
Yes. Usually people have cars. I should have just, taken
mind,
into
it's
account. Okay. Yeah. So max property price, which is 75% of the loan, is 1.123 million for Daniel. And Maria is 1.563. Okay. So this is the fun part. Again, max budget, depending on combined 2 million, say, 2.95. Yeah, 2.95. So their max loan, 2 million and all these things, it becomes 2.95 if they combine.
Yep.
Okay. We did talk about landed properties, but at 3 million, you can't buy a freehold landed. Maybe a 99, but they don't like the idea of having a 99 landed.
Go big, then go home.
Go big. But if you are okay with 99-year landed, then you do have options. All right. Okay, so let's see. So what are their chief concerns? As I've shared previously, retirement, kids. Now we're talking about the kids, Amrin and Alisa. Again, estimated education cost, $200,000 to $400,000. Future wedding, housing support. Not to cover in full, but as a parent, you want to feel good about giving them a boost, a support, right? I think we talk about this when we see kids like 20-year-olds going to EC show flats. Most likely their parents are pumping in 250, 300K. So you want to be that parent, right?
To give your child a head start.
A head start in Singapore. Right? It's going to be more and more competitive, right? And also there's legacy planning for each child. Okay. So right now, they want to plan for that because whatever they have right now, in the future, in the next 20 years, if you give them like $1 million, like, oh, this is 500,000 each, it's going to be, it feels like it's too little, honestly.
Yep.
All right. So this is their plan. And of course, their own retirement, because CPF life may not be enough to sustain whatever they are used to right now. Can you imagine you are earning like 20K combined?
Yep.
And then now with CPF life, you're going to get like what, 2005? When you are old, when you are sick, when your kids are having their own families. So I don't think it's enough, and they understand that, okay? And they want to remain independent from their kids or government. And of course, like I said, the medical expenses.
Yep. Okay.
So the 3 paths. So for your cases, usually what are the options? Like, do they ask you?
From mine, typically, they would like to upgrade to a bigger HDB because their 4-room BTO right now cannot contain the growth of their family. So their expanding portfolio is their family lah. I just met one.
Okay.
6 kids going 7, or is it 7 going 8? Yeah.
Wow.
Young guy, same as me, 36. What am I doing, man?
Shave more.
More. Yeah. So definitely, because I tend to ask them, is it necessary to move? And then they give me like, I got 6 kids, 1 baby due in March, for example.
So the wife is not working or working?
Working.
Okay.
So again, ideally bigger space, and then on top of that, ideally no cash outlay on a monthly basis because they are so used to paying their BTO in CPF. And I think the condo, maybe only 20% of them have some basic fundamental knowledge, but for the vast majority, they are more leaning towards the bigger size. Then of course, I will introduce them the benefits of upgrading to a private property instead. And then of course, their main concern will be affordability.
Yes.
And then we need to make it very specific. What do you mean by affordability? Is it on the monthly basis? What are your fears? Then all the different questions will appear.
So from current 4-room BTO flat, so what are they planning to go for?
Which one? This big family?
Yeah.
Big family most likely is going to go for 5A. Huge 5A,
Where?
129 square meters. Sub 700,000. Where? Woodlands.
Is it Marsiling?
No, they are now currently staying in Sengkang.
Right.
And then I'm like, hey, how come you want to buy Woodlands? And then they give me the size to price ratio is like,
So per square feet is cheaper. It's a lot cheaper.
not only cheaper, it's one of the younger estate.
I see.
Plus, there is more infrastructure that is
In Woodlands,
coming.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something about Sengkang. I mean, the growth and the expansion has been a bit slow.
Yeah.
I feel. And now Woodlands is really aggressive. So if you're buying a property in Woodlands, I think you can look forward to a lot of amenities, price growth.
Yeah. But I mean, this is, of course, especially for the private properties. Based on what has transpired for the newer condos, it is a no-brainer, in my opinion, to buy the resale condos over there.
So we're not talking only about Woodlands. We're also talking about Sembawang, Canberra. These are also the other options. Because Woodlands itself, I mean, they got a lot of ECs.
Yep.
And then there's some very, very old condos as options. Okay, so talking about Daniel and Maria. So what are their options? 80% of the people I meet, they like to ask what will happen if they just stay put. Because one of the things that I offer is why not find out, right? So you can compare. Instead of, I want to sell and upgrade, but I don't want to find out my situation, let's say projected after 25 years. Status quo, okay? And then their original plan was own one condo just for stay, just to live in, okay, and go for asset progression, right? And then own one for stay and one for rent, both of them condos. So most likely it's going to be, under the wife's name. In this case, the wife will be owning the higher price condo for own stay and the husband will be owning the unit for rent.
Question, for these folks that you meet, let's say out of 10, how many of them are aware that their options can be 2 private properties?
Almost none. Because usually, when they meet us or when they meet me or you, I think they do their own calculations. But usually their calculations don't include things like property pledging. Like pledging to get a higher amount loan, or maybe when they see the monthly installment is too high and then they get scared, but when actually you can lower it down,
Or when you break it down.
which we will show you later.
Okay.
All right. Unfortunately, they also have unavailable options, which I just put here. Decouple and own a rental property. You can't decouple a HDB and then buy one. I mean, that loophole has been closed. And number 2 is equity term loan on current property. That means cashing out profits from their HDB, which is impossible unless you own a private property, and then using that money to invest in another thing, because technically you can't use it for property deposit.
So you don't declare.
Okay, so status quo. So this is what we call an equity triangle. Equity triangle shows you, let's say you stay in your current HDB flat, 950,000 valuation, and then it grows. In this case, we're going to do projections, 0.5% and 1.5%. And then we're going to see how much will they be sitting on a property. Because at age 65, most likely you don't want to stay in your current EA anymore.
Yep.
It's too big. You can't maintain. You want to downsize. So it's important to see what will happen. Okay. This is a very optimistic growth projection for a $950,000 HDB. Can you see $950,000 HDB?
Yep.
Their average age is 40.5 years old.
Okay.
Right. Daniel is like 42. Maria is 39. Okay. So this is year 2025. 5 years later, in 2030, you see the asset value 950,000. It goes to 1.023 million. For mortgage, because they've paid their mortgage in full, so you don't have to look at the below part lah.
So technically the triangle should be like this.
Yes. So mortgage is 0. Again, 2035, 2040, 45, and 2050 at age 65, they're going to be sitting on $1.48 million HDB value.
So this is assuming it is a 1.5% year-on-year growth
Yes.
for the next 25 years.
On average.
Is it 25 or 30 years?
This is, I think, 30.
Okay.
Should be 30.
Got it.
All right, 30 years. Okay. But this is the reality, unfortunately. I feel like because their current EA is already like 23 years old, one thing about Pasir Ris, their EAs might look new on the outside. Well maintained, because Singapore maintains the town council maintains their area well. It's just that the lease balance is around 70 plus years. Okay. So I feel like
This is overly optimistic.
previously it was overly optimistic.
Yep.
Right. Now, the reality is, let's be realistic, right?
Okay. So this one, you want to account for inflation lah. Because if we were to factor in the Bala curve or lease decay or the CPF policies and the loan limitation that is in place, then the numbers might not look like this.
Correct.
Because eventually, all leasehold property will go to zero.
Correct.
And why is that so? Based on the policies in place, which is youngest buyer or the house that you buy, HDB flat, has to house the youngest buyer up till age 95. So let's say just now you mentioned the lease remaining is 75, correct? So the youngest buyer as of today can be 20 years old.
Correct.
Fast forward 30 years later at 2035. So the lease right now is how much? 45.
Yeah, 45.
So your youngest buyer must be 50 years old.
Oh, man.
How many 50-year-olds out there are upgrading to an EA? So that's the question number one. Because they are the one who can utilize CPF and utilize loan. But then again, the age cannot take loan. So there are so many variables at play that is going against you. What about the young folks who want to upgrade? These young folks who are 30 years old, for example, want to upgrade to your EA. But because the property is only 45 years lease remaining, so now when you add up their 30-year-old, 45, now it's only 75. So after 75 years old, they will no longer have a roof over their head. And they will become a burden to the government.
Oh, wow.
So that's the reason why government do not want you to buy older flats. So even for these folks who want to buy your EA or your old big flats, they can't do so because they can't use all their CPF or maybe cannot use any CPF and they cannot loan. So how many people out there will have 1.1 million of cash to fully pay that property? So that's the reason why this, for me, is quite
overly
optimistic.
It's impossible, I think. It's
Almost.
not overly. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost impossible. Yeah.
Because if it's, let's say, 1.1 million and let's say the lease goes down to zero. So that means the next year, so 98 years gone already, next year zero. Very hard. Right? It should be like a decline. Yeah, but again, this is just explaining.
just to make Maria and Daniel feel good.
Because some of them, they will go like, but government no longer build EAs.
Oh, wow. Okay, so how do you?
Then I will tell them, pre-COVID, the number of EAs, the same. Post-COVID, the number of EAs, same or different? Same. Then why the price different? Then in order for price to go up, something has to change. Supply demand. So demand went up, supply stayed the same. Yeah. So eventually, this demand that I explained earlier will go down to almost zero. Older folks don't upgrade, younger folks can't upgrade.
Yes.
So when demand goes down, price will follow suit.
Wow, that's bad, right? Okay, so going back to this, so 0.5% is now very optimistic according to Jeff, which I agree.
Yeah.
Right? So let's see. So this is their situation, 1.103 million. Okay, you see, at age 65, if you buy a HDB flat, even a 3-room HDB flat, how much would it be? I think easily nowadays 3 room. So a new HDB flat in Bedok sold for $730,000. 3-room flat.
So if let's say this is your retirement plan, you only left with 300 plus thousand lah.
Exactly. 300 plus thousand, 40, 30 years from now, it's nothing, right?
Maybe 50k.
Cannot be sick. Must be
yeah.
must be super healthy. Body fat percentage like 13%. Okay? So if not, this is what you're looking at, right?
Can you see the most expensive 3-room?
Oh.
Newly MOP'd.
Wow.
I saw this.
So Bedok is nothing compared to Queenstown. No, it's just shocking for Bedok to have that 3-room HDB flat price. It was shocking.
But I kind of get it because Bedok is mature estate and that's
Newest cluster.
newest kid on the block.
But Bedok has this one BTO cluster just beside Bedok Mall. But I'm not sure if they have a 3-room flat. But anyway, it's $740,000. And this 3-room flat in Queenstown, in the next 40 years, this HDB is going to have 60 years lease. Right? 40 years.
Yeah,
Maybe
40.
55 years lease. And do you think it's going to gonna still be $935,000. It's probably like in excess of 1.3.
Assuming the same 0.5% growth rate.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.
So this is not a retirement plan. It's not a good idea. So this is Daniel and Maria. If they are sitting on a HDB, their current HDB EA, it's not enough. Now they know.
Even though it's fully paid.
100%. Okay. So this is stability. Stability plan, that means own one high performing condo. It's a term we use, HAPCs, but we're not going to cover that today. We're just saying, just buy a good condo and this is it. $2 million condo because you want space and you don't want to buy too old. Right? So 2 million, you can get a 4-bedder in Waterview, for example, nearby their house in Tampines.
Okay.
Maybe Santorini is slightly cheaper, but let's just put at $2 million.
Okay.
Because it's combined income, they can well afford this kind of property. So as you can see, asset value is in year 2025 is $2 million. Mortgage is 1.5 million, which is 75%. In the next 5 years, their asset value is going to go up by $2.2 million. And then their mortgage is going to go down to 1,266. And then as you can see, it goes down and goes down until it hits $0.
Essentially, they are paying down their loan slowly but surely over the course of 30 years.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of en bloc, the difference between a leasehold HDB and a private property leasehold is that the end buyer for HDB is only one party, which is the government.
Correct.
So I would rather, it is in my interest to get it down to $0 than I take from you. Versus if it's a private property, there is a small little chance that a developer might come in and buy you out.
Correct.
Because your land price has gone up. Then they will buy at a quote-unquote cheaper rate than the surrounding properties and redevelop and make that margin.
And even when you are saying cheaper rate, it's a lot of money in the future.
Yes. Better than zero.
Better than zero. I mean, if you cannot en bloc, it's like a Boomtown Charlie. It's like, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because I remember the mansionettes in Yunosville. Now it's Park Esta. Like they were walking away like what, $1.3 million for these 30, 40-year-old mansionettes.
Okay.
Huge mansionettes, okay, by the way. But it was HUDC. Same with Silver Sea. Silver Sea Condo, because I know the East.
Yep.
So Silver Sea Condo, it was previously HUDC and people were walking away with a lot of money.
These HUDCs are formerly known ECs.
Esprints.
Esprints?
No, formerly... the singer formerly known as Prince.
These are what ECs are like today lah.
Yes,
right?
ECs. Yeah. That's their cousin lah, I would say.
Okay.
It's almost similar. Okay, this is just interesting. This is demand and supply.
Okay.
This is talking about D18, which is in Pasir Ris and Tampines. As you can see, the supply for studio apartments are very, very high. Right? There are a lot. So their prices are not so good lah. You can buy and it's not so expensive. 1-bedroom condo, low supply, which is okay. 2, 3, and 4. Oof, very low. So if you're buying in Tampines and Pasir Ris, if you like something, go for it. Because interest rates are not gonna go up. They are actually going down. And when there's a lot of access to credit, people just want to pay more. They are okay to pay more.
Just to give a bit of context, this is taken from Property Guru.
Yes.
And Property Guru has the lion's share in terms of the trends, the market movements. So they can determine to a high degree of accuracy the supply and demand.
Correct.
Because based on search, based on click rates.
So they got their own algorithm.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
so this is one of the best indicator of supply demand.
Okay, so what you always see, past transactions, is a lagging indicator. Like it's been done. It's on hindsight. But this is, like Jeff said, is a leading indicator. You can, to a certain degree, you can make a well-informed choice. Like, very low. Wow, you see the demand 60% for 4-bedder.
So back to the interest rates being low and or potentially going lower, how it translates is just that borrowing power goes up. So when borrowing power goes up, your appetite for bigger ticket items go up as well. So essentially it will push, again, demand goes up, price will follow suit.
What's the lowest bank rate now? Do you know?
Now it's 1.5.
1.5?
My client just took 1.55, 2-year fixed with 1 year free reprice.
Okay, wow, that's good.
Cheap.
But do you think interest rates will go down further?
Slightly. And then, again, for me, interest rates, yes, it's important to a certain degree. But what you buy, if I give you 0.5% interest rate, you buy a 30-year-old HDB. Negligible. It's not going to affect your life. Your HDB that you bought is going to affect your life more. But in terms of mortgage rates right now, 1.55, take 2-3 years, take away that bandwidth, lock in. So what if the interest rate goes to 1.2? Ooh, missing out. If it goes up to 2.2, can you take it or not?
Yeah. When people tell me, hey, Elfie, what's the lowest bank interest rate? I always tell them, banks are not stupid. In a way where I'm not gonna, it's not zero-sum game between the banks. It's not like I take a bigger market share than you, because they understand all of them are big players. So it's more about rotation.
Yes.
Right? Okay, this month you'll go low. Maybe next month you'll go lower. And then maybe mine will look not so low, but I have an option to reprice for free in the next 6 months. Yeah, so you don't have to go for the lowest interest rates. In fact, I would argue sometimes look for those slightly above and then see what options they have. Because again, if interest rates are going down, it's in your best interest to make a switch.
Yep.
Right? But like Jeff said, if you're buying a HDB, no need to think about this. If you're buying a private property, then please do this. So for example, what are their options? Just now I was saying maybe a 4-bedder water view unit. Just buy one. Buy one big, a 4-bedder water view. Excellent layout. Water view is a fantastic project. Huge land size. If you look at their prices, historical transaction prices, it's on a gradual uptrend. Nothing shocking. There's no deep and throw, is it? What do you call it?
No
it's
idea.
just stable. Going back, fully renovated unit. Look at the layout. The balcony is not too big, but there's also another place like, can you see there's another balcony at the back, which is not facing anything. It's just like yard or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, but this is a nice, good layout. I feel like this could be an option for them. And this property has been on the market for a bit. Okay, it's vacant as well. So this is an option.
Okay.
Any questions so far on the Waterview unit, 4-bedder?
How much cash on a monthly basis?
Yeah.
I think you didn't go through that, right?
Yeah, I think we're going to touch on that in a bit. How much is the monthly outlay? But for now, it's really about property. So if you're buying a property in Woodlands, for example, a 4-bedder condo, what do you recommend?
Now the cheapest, lowest hanging fruit, not too old, Forestville.
Jeff, why buy cheapest? Isn't cheap not necessarily good?
Correct, true. But if your budget is only 1.5, 1.6 and you want size and you want relatively new, then that is the property for you lah.
Correct. I mean, again, the popcorn theory, price for the idiot sandwich, is it? So if you're buying a 4-bedder at 1.5 million, it's a no-brainer, no matter the size, right?
Because a 3-bedder in the vicinity
is already
is similar price point.
Correct.
So in what world where the 4-bedder, the next tier is same price? Or even if the disparity is only 10%, it makes a lot of sense.
A lot of sense, yeah. So it just, for condo categories, 3-bedder, you shouldn't buy above a certain price point. For 3-bedder, you shouldn't buy above a certain price point.
Compared to the different categories, 4-bed, 3-bed. So what we mean by not being an idiot sandwich is if the 3-bed is encroaching into 4-bedroom territory,
explore the 4-bedder.
Might as well
go to the 4-bedder.
Because again, we are leverage 4x. A 200k jump is only 50k extra in deposit, and the monthly is negligible if you spread it over 30 years.
Nice.
There are ways to extend loan tenure, for example. So it's even more obvious if you put all the variables in play.
Right. Okay, good point. Okay, again, so this is growth. That means buying 2 properties. Maria will be buying one at 1.7 million. Daniel will be buying at 1.2 million. Okay, these are the properties that I recommend them. Livia at 1.7 million. Okay. This is a 3-bedroom condo. Relatively good. I think it's vacant. I like the layout and it's quite a new condo to be honest.
So this is a free consultation by Elfie. This Livia may or may not be still out there.
Yeah. It may not be out there anymore. And then if you are renting, it doesn't matter where the location is. So in this case, I propose Coven Grandeur. The reason why is because it has consistently been, the yield for Coven is the second highest in Singapore.
Wow.
Actually. So I think Stack Homes did a study of condos. And this at 1.2 million is around $3,500 rental. I mean, you can get that amount. Transactions are around there.
Understand.
Tested and proven, right? Of course, we are not basing our research on our own as well. We also pick out from the well-known names out there like Stack Homes, Property Lim Brother Insights.
Square foot.
You see, just buying one condo for $2,268, this is better than any investment-linked policy. This is, I'm not sure if it's better than...
It is better than your S&P.
Not only that, you are going to live inside it.
And then initial investment, 100k. And then annual contribution, 0. Monthly, 2, 3. Let's put but Alfie, if I don't buy this condo, I can invest into S&P 500 for 30 years.
30 years, right?
Let's see the difference.
Inflation? No need inflation.
No need. So
Yeah.
why you put inflation there? Okay.
Yeah, okay lah. Zero lah. All things equal. Good lah, ending balance.
Not bad. 4.26.
I should do this also.
For 30 years.
So it's equivalent, right? It's just that S&P, I mean, historically stable, but we don't know about the future. It's just that for housing, you utilizing it.
Yep.
So there's also rental costs.
There's also the discipline kind of variable where have you been doing it?
Exactly.
And can you do it on a consistent basis for the next 30 years?
So that means the psychological aspect,
Yes.
right? Because if you own a home, you're going to pay 2003 no matter what, right? You are geared towards wanting to pay it. But if you are doing investment, this is like dollar cost averaging lah.
Yep.
Putting 100,000 initially, then 2,300 every month. You may or may not.
Yeah, because the likelihood of people timing the market is higher because, like, for example, if the S&P dip, which it did in recent times, are you okay to keep brute forcing your 2003 savings on a monthly basis? Yeah.
S&P 500 returns.
See.
Yeah.
Right. So can you stomach the dip?
Here, today.
Oh, that is one day lah. That is one day. Let's say
5
we
years
do
lah.
5 years. Yeah, can you
5
stomach
years.
those dips?
Oh my God. This is in April. What happened in April? Is it Trump policies? I think so. Yeah. Again, when you're buying a property, you don't have to think about it. You just stay and pay. Stay and pay.
You front load the thinking and you factor in all considerations, which is like size, facing, floor, price, mortgage, and then you just enjoy. And pay.
Stay and pay.
Stay and pay.
Boom.
Yeah, stay and pay.
Okay. So now let's talk about the fun part. Just now we were talking about this buying these two properties. Honestly, I didn't do much research on this. It was just off the cuff kind of research. But when you are looking for a property to buy, you must do the bare minimum. There's this thing called mode analysis. There are 11 things to look out for. And I would say, you should go through that before you buy. Right? So Covent Grandeur is somewhere in Hougang, obviously. But again, it's okay to buy because of the high rental yield. This is a freehold condo.
Wow. So now that they potentially can accumulate 5.3 million worth of assets, what do they do then?
So at age 67, Daniel and Maria, they can liquidate all these assets. They can buy the $1 million HDB owned stay at Bedok Woods, hopefully.
They buy back their EM?
They buy back their EM.
EA, is it?
EA
at 1.1.
1.1 because the lease is so short.
Correct.
It's going to be around that price. Wow. And then they can exit with $622,000 cash, which they can use for holidays, for whatever they need to do. Okay. And they can also, hopefully by then, there's still OCBC dividend stocks. At 5%, it's going to be, so let's say they set aside $2.5 million. So at 5%, it's around $10,000 plus dollars monthly. And we are not even talking about their CPF life. That's a separate thing. So this is their option. Okay. A better way to retire.
So this is what we consider property by design. Right? We design it based on the different goals that you might have and weigh the pros and cons of each different option because you really have to factor in the status quo and then what are you foregoing? Is it worth foregoing? And after looking at all these projections, like you said, 99% of your folks, your clients will follow suit with the plan because it is watertight, I guess. Not water view, but watertight.
Just to add on Jeff's point, can you imagine in 2025 you buy something at 950k, like you're sitting on this HDB 950k, and then you only earn like $200,000, like 1.1 million after 30 years, 0.5% growth.
Yeah.
For them to be sitting on $950,000 now is extremely lucky. It's like
true.
a black swan thingy.
It's like you fast forward your future price.
Yes. What's the point of waiting for another 30 years to earn 1.1 million, $200,000 when you can potentially get up to $5 million plus? Okay. It's really about knowing how to allocate your capital, how to use leverage.
Use your different assets, which includes your income and your age. And these are assets that you own. So utilize it to the maximum potential. And the funny thing is 950k to 1.1, assuming they stay put EA, they will end up in a negative sale.
Yes.
Because yes, they do not owe any mortgage from now till then, but their accrued interest will keep on compounding against them for the next 25 years. It's going to outgrow the property value.
Yes.
and it's going to end up negative. So potentially you're not going to end up, you're still going to end up with 1.1, but the extra earnings or your CPF that you work for and you owe yourself is just going to vanish into thin air. Lah.
But fun fact, accrued interest is not payable if you pass on to the house. Pass in the house, lah. Like
What if you pass away somewhere else?
if you pass away in London,
The accrued interest will be in British pounds.
okay lah. I think that's it. This is our analysis.
This is our first episode of Property by Design. Thank you, Alfie Abdullah, for giving us a glimpse into how you conduct your consultations. And if anyone wants to reach out to him for this, just click on the link below. And of course, do comment if you see any loopholes in our sharing session today.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go, just last one.
But wait, there's more.
Wait. Okay, so Property by Design is the process that we just shared, and what you will receive is a proposal. I think after the first or the second meetup, you will receive a proposal. And in the proposal, you will see a report of your income, where you are in Singapore's income levels, your 3 paths to your financial future. There's also the equity triangle if you stay on your HDB, the concerns that you might have for your kids. These are the blind spots that you might have missed. Everything is going to be inside the report, okay? And also it's going to show you legacy planning.
Yep.
So if you build up a portfolio of 4.26 million, how it's going to look like in the future. All right. So this is a comparison of everything. This is a good report. And I feel everyone, even if you don't have intentions of going to a private property, should be doing it.
100%.
Okay. Yeah, this is fantastic.
Because you don't know what you don't know.
Yes, 100%.
Is this free?
This is, you have to meet us first. Not free.
Okay.
Not free.
Because this is something that you encourage people to have. So where do they get this?
Okay. So how do you get this Property by Design report? Number one is we have to go through a 10-minute phone call. It's like a discovery call to see if you qualify or if I can help you, because sometimes you may not be, I may not be able to help you. I don't know. Right? See if we are matched. And then from there, we'll have a meetup, the first meetup. And then after the first meetup, there will be this report. Okay. We'll issue this report.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much once again.
Right.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ciao.